Good morning. Well, there's nothing like climb every mountain as a prelude to prayer, you know? I mean, I think that's very cool, don't you? Yeah, because I love that metaphor, you know. We're climbing the mountain, we're taking the trip, we're getting to the top, we are there. I say we're there. I say we're there, yes. So why don't we join each other in prayer? Take a deep breath, release it. Know that God is present right here in this very space. In, around, and through this beautiful sanctuary here at Unity of Pasadena. In, around, and through, and as each of us here. We are the hands and feet of Spirit. We are the breath of Spirit here on earth. And we do Spirit's bidding. And we promise to be loving. And love is the presence of God. And so I know that today is absolutely perfect, that we have all the right and perfect people present, that they've come as volunteers and musicians and prayer chaplains and board members and congregants and guests and live streamers. And we just revel in the idea that we could be together and that we can know the truth together. For it is magnified when we bring one consciousness in connection with another. And we just know that to be true. We feel that to be true. Expressing the love, expressing the peace, expressing the joy with one another in great gratitude. So I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they're done. And please join me by saying, and so it is. Amen. Whew. So we're going to do a little holy, 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 right? All right, let's do that.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Barbara?
Oh, here I am. Wow. There I am.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are whole. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love that lives in me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am whole. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am whole.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you here today. It's my pleasure to welcome every person on the live stream and each of those who are on their way in. And we have some people who haven't been here for a little while, and we welcome you back. If you are brand new, please hang around afterward. We're going to have a wonderful workshop today. We're going to have some food. We're going to have some fellowship and just enjoy ourselves immensely. So we're thankful for this day, and we're thankful for each and every one of you. So here at Unity of Pasadena, we have ourselves a beautiful sanctuary. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, this is so cool. We have not only this magnificent set of windows, by the way, which were moved from the old location to this location in 1987 when this location was built. So these windows have a history. The windows have heard things, you see. The windows have seen things. Yeah, they bring a consciousness of their own. So they were brought here, and they're a perfect accompaniment to that terrarium look that we have, which is absolutely beautiful. We love it. We love our stained glass windows, and we're so thankful that you're here. And I know that every person in this sanctuary sees that, and I hope that each of you on the live stream can see it as well. But come on in person. You'll be amazed at the vibe. If you can, we're here every Sunday. So we have a way of expressing a blessing, and we call it a unity blessing. And I'd love for you to join in the unity blessing with me. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. We also have a statement of faith I'd like you to join me in. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. And I am one with that presence and power. So we're in for a treat today. We're going to have a magnificent time today. And we're going to begin that magnificence with our board president, Norma. Norma, are you going to do our community today? Oh, let's see. Oh, she's on the docket. So, hey. Well, I can tell you that Norma probably thought she had a little extra time because, as you know, I can go on and on and on. So she probably gauged her time around that. But today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a workshop. And that workshop is going to start pretty much right after we get finished with church. So we're going to shorten a little here and there. And so we are happy to have you, Norma, bring our community to everybody. Thank you so much. Beautiful colors, by the way. Come on.
Good morning, everyone. It's interesting when we're doing this, and then we're doing a little of that, and then we're doing over there, and then we're all over the place, and we spread ourselves too thin sometimes, don't we? So my apologies for being a little late to this wonderful party. So good to see you all. Okay, we do have a vision statement that aligns with that of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and it is now on our board. And if you can say it with me, please. Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Beautiful. And our mission statement, which, as Barbara likes to say, puts feet on our vision, is transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth of divine wisdom, compassion, and love using practical spiritual principles. And then, of course, our wonderful core values: creating community, living love, teaching truth, serving spirit. Great. These statements are on the front of the monthly bulletin, and they represent our intentions as a ministry. The bulletin has all of the events that is scheduled for this month, and we have some this month, next month and the following month that are so exciting. So please make sure you read the bulletin. And they are also, by the way, on our website. Okay. Team S through Z is leading our hospitality today. And let me tell you, there's so much food up there and so many delicious items. So thank you, Team S through Z. Next week, we have Team A, B, and C. And we really appreciate everybody, being able to set up and do the initial serving with our gloves, because we're still trying to be very careful for you. And, of course, clean up at the end. Please don't forget to use our blue recycle bin for the cans and bottles and, all the recycled stuff, right? And then we have a separate trash can. Okay. Today, after Sunday service, Reverend Dorst will be giving the Unity Way of Life workshop. Yay. The class is a prerequisite for becoming a new member. However, anyone can attend, and it's free. You can still register right now, today, or you can just stay and be a part of our wonderful group. And I do believe we still have enough handouts, right? Yeah. Always, right? And we can make more. What the heck? Okay. Okay, now save the date, please. July 31st. Talk about camaraderie. We'll have a sign-up sheet for the dishes for our church picnic. And I'm sure we're going to have a variety of food, and it's going to be so much fun. So we look forward to having you all join us. If you're an online shopper, I'm a shopper, period, okay, and you use Amazon, and I'm the Amazon queen, okay, please make sure that it's Smile Amazon, right? And of course, we'll always remember that smile that gets put on our face as soon as our package gets delivered, right? And please pre-select Unity of Pasadena as your charity. And that way we get 4% contribution of whatever you buy. And a lot of us buy a lot of goodies, so happy shopping. Okay, I've noticed also that people have availed themselves to our prayer chaplain, one-on-one prayer after service. If you would like this opportunity, you may remain in your seat after the service, and the prayer chaplains will come to you. Today, Anita Sambadi will be assisting the prayer chaplain of the day, who is Andrea Sheridan. But before Andrea leads us in our meditation time today, Jacqueline Collette will prepare us by sharing today's daily word.
Good morning. Today's affirmation from the Daily Word: I am love in action, sharing acts of kindness. It is my nature to be kind. Divine love is inherent within me, part of my spiritual identity. Opportunities abound to be kind, and I hold that intention today. Ideas will fill my mind, perhaps as a nudge to call a neighbor, send a note, extend a smile, or give a compliment. Practicing kindness includes sharing my gifts and talents in ways that allow me to express my individuality by giving of myself. Focusing on kindness, I am patient in all my dealings and resist easy judgments and prejudices. I am keenly aware that challenging situations can frustrate me, but I also welcome them as occasions to call upon my higher self. as a loving and peaceful being. The more I practice kindness, the more easily it becomes the song of my heart and my way of life. The scriptural reference is from Zechariah. Render true judgments, show kindness and mercy to one another.
Spirit in me, live out in the open, shine from my life like the sun. Give of your goodness, conquer the darkness, Spirit of light and love. Spirit in me. Spirit in me. Live out in the open, shine from my life like the sun. Give of your goodness, conquer the darkness, Spirit of light and love. Spirit in me. Give through me, speak through me, move through me, love through me. Oh, Spirit in me. Oh, Spirit in me. Thank you. Let's all take a deep breath in as we prepare for our short period of meditation, centering ourselves in divine love, in the peace that passes understanding, the peace that abides in us and we share with our world. So thoughtfully, let us say the prayer of St. Francis together. God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine presence, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to life. God is our resting place. We relax in the divine, and we know within us is the deep well of contentment. There, all is well. We let go, and in the silence, we experience spiritual wholeness, completeness, harmony, and well-being. Here we discover ourselves as God made us, innocent, pure, and holy in its image and likeness, having all the joy, peace, harmony, and well-being that God is. Our yoke becomes easy and our burden light as we rest in the arms of the divine. So let's go there together for the next 2 minutes. Come back into the room slowly, refreshed and renewed. As we go through the week, we're conscious that we coexist with God as a living witness to a living God in all that we think, say, and do. world runs fast, the spirit slow, to where we think we need to go. When we move in to passing gear, the song of love is hard to hear, till everything's so loud that we're alone with what we're missing. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The sound is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen. The harmony of wings in flight, the rising of the winter night, the breaking of the ocean's wave will call the heart that's half awake. The sound of every breath we take will free our souls from prison. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen. For all we're worth, the door to heaven's here on earth. The shout for joy, the softest prayer, the sound of love is in the air. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen, listen, listen.
Hey, thank you so much for that song. I really appreciate that. And it says so much that is wrapped up essentially in the talk that I'm going to be giving today around spirit speaking. You know, I love the idea that listening may be the key. And the song that you sang, and sang so well and played so well, doesn't say how we should listen, whether we listen with our eyes, whether we listen with our ears, whether we listen with our heart, whether we listen through other means, we can hear through our ears, but we have other ways to do this, to listen, to understand. So I think everything's a metaphor, you guys. We're talking about spirit speaking today, and I think everything's a metaphor. And when I talk about speaking, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different metaphors, and I'll try and lay them out for you as we move forward. But there is one thing that I wish, in retrospect, had happened when I was a kid, when I first started going to Sunday school. I wish that my teachers in Sunday school had talked about Spirit God speaking to those that were in the Bible, or sending angels so that God could be heard, was in a sense possibly a metaphor. Now, I might not have understood at a young age what a metaphor was, but if somebody said, well, it's kind of like this, you know, I mean, it's a little bit like this. It doesn't have to actually be speaking, but it has to be something that could be communicated at least. And perhaps there was a communication of sorts that we call God speaking to these people, because I felt like I was a little less than as a kid. I mean, everybody else in the Bible was being spoken to. I mean, what was wrong? What's wrong with me? How come I'm not getting direction? You know, what's wrong? Why don't you send an angel to talk to me, for crying out loud? I mean, you probably have enough of them. You know, I mean, there's got to be a supply. I mean, I've heard of guardian angels, etc. And you know, we all should have one. You know, I even watched, you know, It's a Wonderful Life and Ring the Bell. You know, and you're supposed to get another one going on Wings. But I really wish somebody had said to me, you know, this speaking thing can happen in a lot of ways, and I want you to be open to the many ways that life, God, Spirit, the divine, as we know today, we can call God, is speaking to you. You see, because there's always a conversation going on in life. I mean, if you're really paying attention, there's a conversation going on. There's sort of a give and take. There's something happening all the time, whether it's the weather starts to get a little warmer and it's springtime and all of a sudden the leaves start coming out. I mean, there's a conversation. There's a conversation happening in life between those living creatures that recognize and know that something new is coming. They start to pair up. You know, we have a lot of creatures around the lake that we live on, and the rabbits love to hang around with each other, and the ducks follow each other, and some of them are a little more aggressive than others, but they know what's going on. There's something speaking to them. There's something speaking at all times. There's a conversation happening in life. You know, and I love to think of this Spirit speaking in those terms, as well as the terms that I thought were being meant in Sunday school, you know. But there's something going on in life. And if we're paying attention, we can look at it and see it. So, you know, in the old days, let's just say way back when, before the internet, before television, before real means of transportation, and let's go back 3,000 years. Let's go back 3,000 years. You were born in a particular place, and you generally stayed in that particular place. You know, and you sort of started to figure out that there was a conversation going. You know, you'd heard some stories about spirits and maybe certain types of gods. Maybe if you were Jewish back in that era, you had heard the story of creation, the Genesis story. Maybe you had. But you heard that and saw that there were things happening in this particular space where you were born and living that seemed like the conversation was going a little askew, meaning we need rain because we need water to drink. We need sunshine so that the plants that we have can grow. We need certain types of elements within the natural way of being in life to unfold for us so that we can have the things that we need. And so when they didn't show up, we had to come up with some sort of reason why that might have happened, that it didn't show up. I mean, am I being punished? Is there something going on? I mean, is there something that we can do to make this happen? And so you could beseech the gods or God to bring you what it is that you need, whether it's rain or maybe even victory over an enemy, maybe victory over another tribe. And if you got that victory, then you thought maybe God was responding to your plea. Or if you got that rain, maybe it was because God was responding to your plea or prayer. But sometimes it got worse and worse and worse and worse, and even your pleas, even the prayers, even the beseeching didn't work. And so we started to think that maybe God wanted something more from us. And sacrifice started to happen. I mean, we're talking 3,000 years ago, you guys. It seems so draconian today that you would, you know, need to please God by sacrificing a life of some sort, whether it be an animal or whether it be a child. I mean, we know about child sacrifice back in those days. And Abraham and Isaac is a great indication of that story in the biblical sense. So we know that these kinds of things were happening. Sacrifices were being given because there was no rain, because the crops weren't growing, because some things were perhaps in the works and you wanted to make sure that they unfolded perfectly for you. Maybe you were about to, as a member of your village, to be overrun by another tribe. Maybe there was danger lurking in the air for some other reason, and you wanted to please God or the gods, depending upon what you believed. And so you could see that God was speaking angrily during that period of time. I mean, it's a very difficult time for these people, and you can understand that they had no real understanding of how this thing worked. I mean, today we have satellites, we have all sorts of ways to see what's going on in weather patterns. We have space, photographs from space so that we can see what's happening. We all know about that. I mean, the world isn't flat. We have pictures that prove it. Although some people don't believe the pictures. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. To each his or her own. But we have the ability to see that these things are happening independent of some sort of God that wants to either punish us or wants to be given something like sacrifice. I mean, it seems crazy to us that we should, believe that sacrifice would change weather patterns. But not to them. I mean, they didn't have all of those things at their disposal. Well, difficult times existed back then. There were a complete misunderstanding, essentially, of what was going on. And the Old Testament of the Bible kind of lays that out. And I love the Old Testament because it gives us sort of a roadmap for how humankind was leveling up, how time and experience were bringing a greater sense of consciousness to people. And as the Bible moves forward from book to book, you start to see that there's a bit of a change in the way people are acting and reacting. And God is no longer blamed in Samuel for all of the things that are going on because there's now a devil. So we don't have to blame God for all of that. And that sort of bothered some people initially anyway, but now we have the devil to blame. And that makes things a lot easier, by the way. It makes it a whole lot easier. So, craziness, a sense of uncertainty that just breaks your heart because you don't know whether or not God's going to give you something. You don't know whether or not you should sacrifice a child. You don't know whether or not the devil's after you. There is chaos in the inner resources of human beings. And so what happens? Jesus comes. Jesus comes and brings a new way of thinking. Jesus comes and brings something very, very new to the world. And this is the birth of the Christ consciousness. This is the birth of newness. This is the birth of a new way of being and thinking and seeing life and communicating with life. Listening, seeing, understanding, being. And Jesus brought this idea that it is done unto us as we believe. That a lot of the stuff that we see unfolding in our lives, a lot of the misery that is created in our lives is brought about by us, by the individual because of the way that we think, because of the things that we believe, not because we're being punished, but because we are creating our lives through our beliefs, through our thoughts, through our words, and through our actions. I mean, Jesus was very clear about that. As you think, so shall you be. And a way to communicate with spirit so that you might be able to bring about some of the things that you would like to see in the world was through prayer, a brand new way to pray. He said, what you're to do, and I'm going to paraphrase here, is just to lay it down as if you already have it. I mean, talk about it as if it's already here, because your word is creative. Because the things that you say, when coupled with your feeling and your belief in what he called faith, will bring about something in your life akin to that belief. Now, interesting, so unheard of, so very strange to so many people that he should bring such a message, that you actually have some control. He's telling us that we have the freedom to create what it is we'd like to see in our lives. Because our thought processes, what we think, what we believe, what we have faith in, is an interior thought process, and we create from within. When he said the Father within does the work, the Father within doeth the work in King James Version, this is what he's talking about. He's talking about our inner resources, our belief, our faith, bringing about what it is we see out picturing in our lives. And so as we think, so shall we see unfold in our lives. That is a real up-leveling of understanding of how this conversation with Spirit's working. You know, this is a whole different conversation. This doesn't have to do with pleasing a God through sacrifice or some sort of beseeching prayer to get what it is that you want, because God is an angry, jealous God. No. This is a God that says yes to everything. All you need to have is the requisite faith, the words to be used, the belief, stepping into it. God will do its part if you do yours. What an interesting idea, huh? What an interesting and new way to look at things. This is a brand new conversation. This is Spirit speaking in a totally different way. This is something that I can count on. I mean, this whole new way of looking at things gets us to take a look at how, in other ways, Spirit speaks. I mean, I could take a ball and drop it, and you would know, I drop it from my hands, and you would know that it would hit the ground, right? I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, Spirit is speaking through principle. This principle of gravity works every single time. Spirit speaks through principle. Spirit speaks through principle of creation, which is thought into form. Your thought is the creative entity, the cause of what it is that you see in your life. Your life unfolds through you. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Well, it doesn't take much to actually prove that theory for you. Because if you think you're having a bad day, yep, prayer answered, baby. You are. You are. If you have gratitude in the morning as you get up and you are grateful for all that you see and all that you have, and you build this inner resource of gratitude, which is filled with love for this thing called life, you've just asked for it and received it. You don't have to sacrifice an animal. Child, you got it. The Word is your blessing. But here's the interesting thing. You know, the Word itself is a very, very misunderstood concept. There's the exterior word spoken, and then there's the interior word which is felt. Now, I have some quotes here that I really, really enjoy that are about the word itself. You guys like Emerson? You see, there's a mysticism in life. There is a beauty, a romance in that mysticism of life that Emerson captured. I think he did a great job of doing it. And Emerson essentially said that God is best understood as spirit, an ideal, a breath of life, everywhere and always, filling the world with the inexhaustible power of the divine presence. And that, in and of itself, is the utilization of an idea that became new thought, in essence, that God being all that is, the divine presence here and now, in and as you. Emily Dickinson recognized that, and she said, "I know nothing in the world that has as much power as a word. Sometimes I write one and I look at it until it begins to shine." Emily Dickinson, I love her. Don Miguel Ruiz says, "Your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift." The word. Now, the word, like I said, can be more than just the word, and must be more than just the word, because you can say things all the time. But it has to be backed up with the tendency of your belief, meaning the faith, the tendency of your words, your thoughts, your beliefs is what you will see demonstrate. Don Miguel Ruiz says that's the power to create. It's a gift. You know, I think the word is a blessing. In fact, I'll quote myself here. The word is your blessing. Speak kindly and surely your home, right? That's part of a song we sang together, right, Kristen? Yeah, the word is your blessing. Speak kindly and surely in your home. And there's another quote that I think this is my favorite. The heart hears spirit speaking. The soul is overjoyed when finally the acquaintance is made. The heart hears spirit speaking. The soul is overjoyed when finally the acquaintance is made. That is a Greg Dorst quote. Yep. Now, I'm a fan of quoting myself. I hope that doesn't bother you guys. Yeah, I'm a fan of quoting myself, and I think you guys are too. I mean, if you think something that somebody else might want to hear, doggone it, write it down and come talk about it. I want to hear it, because you're filled with the magnificence and wonder and beauty of the divine. You see, this idea that you are creative, that your word is creative, that you are filled with that creative resource, that creative energy, comes from this knowing and understanding that you are one with God, the Creator, that you are one with God, that you are made in the image and likeness of God, which is not about how you look. It's about the things that you can do. You see, when God says, let there be light, that's the creative energy of the Word. You're given that too. You are exactly that same type of creator you bring about in your life as you believe life to be. And you know, you don't have to worry about whether or not God's going to grant your wishes or fulfill your prayers, because God says yes to everything. You must just cooperate. Seriously. I mean, it's true. All you have to do is cooperate. All you have to do is your part. All you have to do is step into the situation and actually believe what it is that you're saying. Sometimes our actions speak louder than words, you see. But sometimes they don't coincide with one another. And when those things happen where your actions and words don't coincide with one another, you're going to get a confused or interesting or unique result, perhaps, from time to time. This is why here in places like Unity, we say, we like this word integrity, where our thoughts match up with our actions, where our thoughts match up with the things that we truly believe deep down inside. We try and be our authentic self. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Of course. The authentic self demonstrates. The authentic self brings about what it is that you want to see in this world. And it all starts from within you. You've all accomplished things, by the way, in your life. Great things. I'm absolutely certain every single one of you have accomplished great things. And it all came from ideas. You might think, well, they weren't my ideas. You know, my parents made me do this, or my parents made me do that. But you stepped into it. You know, and if you stuck with it, then you made those ideas your own. You know, and that's another interesting conversation for the future. It's how our societies create in really weird ways, you see. Because we're all operating outside of our authentic self. We're bringing all of the baggage that was brought to us by our parents, by teachers, by friends, by negative experiences, by negative belief systems. I mean, we bring all that to the party too. And in essence, we're speaking to spirit in that language as well. That's why we have to be careful about the things we think. You know, speak kindly and surely is a great way to demonstrate whatever it is you'd like to see in life. So, does Spirit speak in your life? Well, yeah. Spirit says you have the absolute freedom to do whatever it is that you want. Because if you want it, it's allowed. You may have to pay the consequences, but Spirit says yes. So, the absolute freedom to do what it is that we must do, or what it is that we think we need to do, or what it is we'd like to do, or what it is that the path that we have laid out for ourselves brings us to, is a magnificent tenet of life itself. We were given the free will to do exactly that. You know, it's really an interesting discussion to talk about how it is that people believe that can be pulled back for you and for me or for anyone. That you can take a look at me and say, you can't do that, you can't think that, you cannot be that, at a level of a society through laws, through decisions. This life is about freedom. This creative aspect of God through us, speaking through each and every one of us every day through the outpicturing of our belief systems, is predicated upon that freedom. They didn't understand that back in the days of the Egyptians and the Romans and here in America during slavery. We have to make them do this. We have to make them think that. We have to change this so this won't happen. When, in fact, what you're doing is creating a sense of slavery in thought and deed. Believe me, this is happening today. This is happening today. Now, it's not a political discussion at all. What it is a step back and see that whatever freedom that you thought you might have, you might not have. And that has absolutely nothing to do with your political ideology. It has to do with whether or not you believe you should be free. I think that the Bible absolutely solidifies the idea that we must be in order to create in a way that makes sense. You see, Jesus brought us a bunch of new things. This idea that we were a creative entity, the Father within does the work, that as within, so without. All of these ideas that the creative energy of life is within us, we are that divine resource. And when we speak, God speaks back in return by saying yes. Jesus brought all of that really interesting stuff. And in a lot of ways, what we've done is just taken it and thrown it away. We've developed a religion not of Jesus, but a religion about Jesus. The difference is stark. The religion of Jesus is that religion of kindness and understanding and recognizing the divine conversation, of being able to give and take with Spirit itself and create what it is that you'd like to see in the world. The religion about Jesus is dropping to your knees and bowing to the majority. That is the religion about Jesus that knows nothing about Jesus. We're in an interesting world today. And this interesting world allows us to open up and to think and to use the word that we have. And the way that we use our word here in unity is to pray. The workshop is going to be a little bit about prayer today. There's going to be some really interesting discussion around prayer and how we do it here in unity. And I'm going to describe and answer questions and talk to you about how that works and how it might be effective in your lives. And I would love for each and every one of you to participate along those lines, because when we're talking about prayer, we're talking about the very nature of God. We get to talk about all of that. We get to talk about the very nature of God itself and our relationship to that. So I'd love to have you stick around. It's a great and interesting conversation. So, Spirit speaking. How interesting is it? I say Spirit speaks to me and you go, you're crazy. No, wait. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. I see it. I feel it. I know it. It's in my heart. So with that, when I say namaste, what that means is that the God in me as me recognizes the God in you as you. And I say that now. Namaste. Okay, so Spirit says that we ush today. Millie, come forward and ush for us, please. How about that? Is that a grand entrance? We have a community giving statement that we're going to say in just a second, but this is a way for us to share. We have ways that we speak, and sometimes it's with our resources as we bring forth the grand idea of unity itself to the rest of the world. And that's kind of what we do when we speak. And here I'm speaking, see? I'm speaking, and I put it right in here. And so when we speak this language, we bring about a change in society that is kind and loving and caring and compassionate and good, because that's what we stand for. That's the integrity that we stand for. We stand for freedom. We stand for creative aspects of life that allow anybody to do and be whatever it is that they need to do and be. And so please join me in the community giving, because that's what this allows. God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful. We got a song, don't we?
We've got a call and response song.
It's a call and response.
It
I just learned
is.
it.
Spirit
So
speaking.
you just copy what I say, give it back to me. I'm going to give it to you. It's
They're
going to be
gonna do it
great.
too? Oh, cool.
Yes, of
Okay, I love
course.
it.
Call and response. Oh,
All right.
sing it again for me one more time. I am
I am
an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
I am
I am
an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
A beautiful
A beautiful
expression
expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
the Spirit.
Unique.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Hey, I want him to say unique. A magnificent
Magnificent
expression
expression
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
Now unique of the Spirit.
Yeah, I have the words. Spirit.
A unique, unrepeatable expression of God.
Unrepeatable expression of God.
A unique, unrepeatable expression of God.
A unique, unrepeatable expression of God.
I
I am
am an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
I
I am
am an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
Right time,
Right time,
right place,
right place,
an expression
an expression
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
A unique,
Fabulous.
a fabulous
Fabulous.
expression
I've got it.
of the Spirit.
Spirit.
A unique, unrepeatable expression of God.
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 I
I am
am an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
I
I
am
am
an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit, of the Spirit.
Right time, right time.
We already did
Right place.
an expression of the Spirit,
Of the Spirit.
of
I
the
am
Spirit.
fabulous. I am fabulous. I've got it. I've
the
got it. Just
Spirit.
learned it this morning.
A unique, unrepeatable expression of God.
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 I
I am
am an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit.
Of the Spirit.
I
I am
an expression
an expression
of the Spirit,
of the Spirit.
of the Spirit, of the Spirit. All right. Thank
All right. Fun. You did, right? No, you did. You did.
Thank you, Millie, for doing all this walking, for crying out loud, and the heavy lifting. Wait a minute, wait. Oh, thank you. Yes, indeed. So what we do is we just show our gratitude. We show our gratitude for the love that's given each and every day to this thing called unity, to this thing called life, to magnificent ideas that we bring forth, and we promise to utilize these tithes and treasures in ways that support not only this community but the surrounding community. Not only a consciousness that's born here, but is repeatable throughout the community at large, so that we bring about a sense of love and hope and joy and compassion to those who need it. And so I release these words with great thanksgiving in my heart, knowing that this is done and that integrity rules the day. And so it is. Thank you. So we have a silent unity prayer for protection. If you guys would join me, if you'd stand up. What are we singing today? Peace song? We're going to sing a peace song today. Great. So please join me in the silent unity prayer for protection, and then we'll go right into the peace song. And if you want to hold hands during that, you certainly can. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. I have different words probably. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let me see. No, let me see. Because, well, we got to fabulous and you didn't say it. So, it's because. Yeah, over here.